Hello, lovelies. Welcome back to Alake Gay YouTube channel. In today's tutorial, I'll be learning how to make this elegant free dress. It's so simple and easy to make. So if you're interested in learning how to make this, please continue to watch this video. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for being here. I love you. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing to this channel. Thank you. So to start off, I have my fabric folded into four like this, one, two, and three, four like that. To be cutting the front and back together. So this dress is a cut together sleeve. So I've just measured half of my shoulder measurements. My shoulder is 14. 14 divided by 2 equals to 7. Then I mark extra 5 inches for extension. And after that, I come down by 2 inches for the shoulder slope. And after that, I mark the neckline for the front. Neckline for the front depth will be 4 inches. And then I mark 3 inches for the neck width. So 3 by 4 for the front. Then I'm going to do 2 inches for the back. So I'll first connect the front neckline like that. So after connecting the front neckline, then I'm going to connect the back to, I'm going to do for the back. For the back, I'll be doing 2 inches. So I'm going to mark 2 inches for the back like so. So that means when I'm cutting, I'll first cut the back, then I'll now cut the front. So I'm just connecting like so. So the next thing is from where I marked the 2 inches for the shoulder slope, I'm going to mark half of my round sleeve. My round sleeve is 10, so 10 divided by 2 equals to 5. I'm going to mark 5 there. Then I will add 1 inch for ease because I didn't want the sleeve opening to be too tight. So where I marked that 6 inches, I'm just going to square that line down. So that line will serve as my chest line. So I'm just going to square down that line like so. So where I square down to mark my chest line, I'm going to input quarter of my bust circumference. My bust is 34, so 34 divided by 4 equals to 8.5. Then I added half inch for ease. That makes it 9. Then 1 inch for seam allowance, that's 10. So I'm going to mark 10 right there. So you can add ease allowance of half inch to 1 inch. Then you mark your 1 inch for seam allowance. Or if you use more than 1 inch for seam allowance, this will have no lining, so that's why I just marked that there. So I'm just going to connect from the neckline to the shoulder slope together. So I'm going to connect using my free hand. You can use your ruler to connect that. So I'm just going to connect that right there. So the next thing I'll do now is to connect from where we mark the shoulder slope to the chest line like so. So just mark it straight, like curve, kind of curve like that. You know, earlier on when I was marking, I didn't have sewing allowance to this armhole area, this sleeve opening area. So I'm just going to add 1 inch for sleeve, for sewing allowance around the armhole like that. So that is another line that I mark. So after the chest line, I just mark another 1 inch for the joining allowance at the side, that on that area like so. So the length of the gown at the center is 34 inches. I want it to be 34 inches. So I'm going to mark 34 inches for the length of the gown at the center, and I will add 1 inch for seam allowance right there. But at the side, the length will be longer than the at the side. So at the side, I'm just going to connect to the side. So the length of my measurement of my fabric from the shoulder area to the length of the fabric was 47 inches. Can you see? That's 47 inches. So I'm just going to connect from their midpoint straight to the hem area. So you can use whatever measurement you want. You can make yours longer than this. So this depends on your preference, how long you want this. So at this side, make sure you have 1 inch that will be used for the joining allowance at the side. Your curving might not be as deep as mine. You can make it straight. You can make it rectangular, different shape that you want. But I just want this curve kind of shape. So you can make any kind of shape you want. and that is all for the measuring. So at the center, use the measurements you desire you want, and also the side, use the measurements you want. So now, I added from 1 inch here that we had for the seam allowance on this side after the chest line. I'm just marking it straight. So from this that we mark for the joining allowance there, I'm just going to connect straight down to the hemline at the side, and that is all. So I'm just maintaining the straight line from there straight down. Yours can be fuller than this. I use 1.5 yard of fabric, and the length of my fabric was 45 inches long. I think it should be around 48 about. I can't remember the length of the fabric, but I use 1.5 yards of fabric. So your side might be big, more than this, depending on how big you want it. That is how much fabric you should have at the side. So yours might be bigger than mine, so I'm just trying to make the lines more visible now. So just follow the steps I've showed us straight up. Then I'm just cutting off the excess fabric that I have around there, and that is all for the cutting. So the next thing I'll do now is I'll first remove the back. I said I'll remove the back first, so I've cut off the back neckline. So the next thing I'll do now is to cut the front neckline. I first cut out the back neckline. The front and the back neckline is not the same, so don't forget when you are cutting that you have to first cut the back neckline before you cut your front. So I've cut off the front now. So around this opening of the sleeve here where we mark the 1 inch for the seam allowance, please make sure to notch that area. It's going to be useful later while sewing. So I've notched the front. I'm going to place the back on the front and also notch the back too. The back is not here, so I'm just going to join the back up here too and notch it. Make sure you notch both the front and the back. So this dress does not have any zip because it's a free dress, so I'm just trying to lay it properly. Then I'm just going to notch the back too. Make sure to notch it on the same allowance you added to your sleeve opening area, like so. So to join this, I already cut out facing for the neckline. You can cut facing for the neckline, or you use bias to finish the neckline. So this is the front neckline that I'm placing right there. So I'm just going to go ahead and join the facing to the neckline for the front, and also the same thing for the back. So I'm just placing on top of each other. I'm just going to go ahead and join them together like so. So right here, I've already joined it together at the shoulder area, the facing. So the next thing for me is to place the front and the back together on top of each other, right side facing the right side. And I'm just to go ahead and join it together at the shoulder using the facing to turn it in order to have a neat finishing at the area like so. So I'm just going to take it like so and join it together at the shoulder area. So I'll take this sewing machine and join it like so. So right now I've already joined it together at the neckline already. Can you see this is the neckline? I've already joined it together at the shoulder rather. I've already joined it together at the shoulder. So the next thing is, where I told us to notch earlier. So you're just going to fold in the seam allowance around there. So I'm going to fold in about ½ inch in. So I didn't add much allowance there, so I'm just going to fold in little. I don't want to fold too much around there. I just want the sewing there to be really tiny. So I'm just going to go ahead and join it together around to fold it around that area, and I've done that already. Can you see it? So I'm showing us right there that I've already joined it at the folding. I've already folded it. Can you see? I folded it in. So the next thing is for me to place it the right side facing the right side and join it together by the side, starting from where the seam stopped here. From where you just measure your sleeve opening plus the seam allowance there, and you're just going to go ahead and join it together from the sleeve opening straight down to the hemline, and make sure you hem it at the hem too. And that is all for this dress. Can you see how it looks now? It's so beautiful and easy to make. So if you have any question, please ask your question in the comment section down below. Please subscribe if you have not subscribed, like this video and share it with the fellow soulmates. So thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate you. So I'll catch you in my next tutorial. Bye.